Good afternoon and welcome to Today on BayTV. I'm Liz Cairns and this is Gaynor Morgan.
And today we're joined by Jenny Walford from the National Waterfront Museum and leading Welsh journalist Robert Llewellyn-Jones. But first we'll have some music from undoubtedly Lydia.
When you go, don't ever think I'll make you try to stay. And maybe when you get back, I'll be out to find another way. Well, after all this time that you still owe, another dollar's just another blow. So take your gloves and get out, better get out while you can. When you go, would you even turn to say I don't love you like I did yesterday? Well, I still cry so hard from pleading, so sick and tired of all the needless beating. And maybe when they knock you down and out, that's where you ought to stay. Well, after all this blood that you still owe, another dollar's just another blow. So fix your eyes and get out, better get out while you can. When you go, would you even turn to say I don't love you like I did yesterday? Well, come on, come on, oh no. Would you even turn to say I don't love you like I did yesterday? When you go, would you even turn to say I don't love you like I loved you yesterday? I don't love you like I loved you yesterday.
That was brilliant.
Wasn't she lovely?
Yeah.
Really nice way to start the afternoon.
Well, Jenny Walford from the National Waterfront Museum, it's always a pleasure to have you here.
Always a pleasure to be here.
What news have you got for us today?
Well, we've got it's summer holidays now, which is marvellous, so we've got lots and lots of things for loads of children to do, but we've also got things for adults as well. One of the things we've got is our Exploding Water Show. I think that
sounds like fun.
It's amazing. It's a lady called Becky Holmes, there she is, and she's going to tell all the children about what you do with water.
Right.
How can it boil in space? And if it does, what happens to it? Can you explode water? Anything to do with water.
She looks naughty. The picture's gone now. But
she's got a bit of a mischievous grin. So, yeah, so it's one of those shows that will be a bit of fun. That's on Saturday. We're also, throughout the
You're going to say, don't try this at home.
No, I was going to ask you, Jenny.
People are going to get wet.
Is she experimenting with heavy water?
You'll have to come along and find out, Robert.
I can think of a few little mites in my family. Anyway.
So fun way of science, isn't it?
I think that's the good thing about it, isn't it? It's introducing children to science at a really early age and learning that it can be fun. It's not, this heavy thing that, we all go, science. Yeah, it's great fun. So we've got that. We've got our Seagull Trail. That starts on Saturday, where everyone can come in, pick one up and have a wander around the galleries, try and find the rogue seagulls that are hiding. And throughout the summer, we'll be making copper bookmarks.
These aren't real seagulls, are they?
They're not real seagulls. No. We haven't trapped them in the museum and they're batting their wings to get out.
They can be quite big, can't they?
Yeah, and ferocious. So no, we haven't got the real ones.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, sorry.
And one of the other things we've got coming up, this is on August 2nd, is National Play Day, and it's in association with City and County of Swansea, and they're asking everybody to come down and play some of the old games, like, you know, I used to play hopscotch a lot at school, French skipping with the elastic round your legs.
Oh,
I don't know whether you probably wasn't one for you, Robert.
Never know.
We've all sort of played some kind of old games, but actually we're losing the knack of how to do it. So we want people to come along. If you used to play it in your youth, come and show the youngsters how to do it, because so many people are now on the computer games and they forget that you can just go outside with a bit of chalk.
It's very important.
I think it is. I mean, that's the problem is we have so much obesity, don't we, in children these days, that anything to get them outside and jumping up and down, I think is worth it. So
we'll be covering that in the papers actually later on with obesity.
Right, okay, fantastic. And we're also, this is exciting news for us, we are going to welcome in the next 2 weeks, because we don't know exactly when, our 3 millionth visitor.
Wow.
We've been open since 2005. And so we're turning over something like 250,000 people are coming to see us every year, which is fantastic.
Is that on target, or have you
Yes, it's on target. I mean, the targets sort of go up a little bit every year, as you know, but...
as you reach it.
When you think you're doing well, they can higher it again a little bit. But it's brilliant that we get so many people through, and it's about to be our busiest time because it is the summer holidays.
Well, there's some appeal for everyone there, isn't there? I had a group of German tourists I was taking around on that very, very wet day last week. I thought, what am I going to do? Anyway, we headed for the waterfront. Your staff were so friendly and accommodating, and it was great, you know.
Because there's so many things, so many hands-on things to do, and so you can find out, you know, what people used to live like in 1850 Swansea and that kind of thing. And we've reopened our coal exhibition now, which has been down for a little while. So if you want to come there, you can crawl through a little tunnel and see what mining was like.
Are you involved in this City of Culture bid?
We are. They very kindly announced it, the shortlist, from our balcony last week. So we were part of that, which is really exciting. And yes, I think there's a lot of work still to be done now, isn't there? I think.
Obviously, all fingers crossed, but just being nominated as one of the contenders.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Well, it brings in a lot of publicity.
Hopefully, it brings the publicity, but also hopefully people will think, oh, Swansea, I wonder what's there already, because if you think just the little marina area, you've got us, you've got Swansea Museum, you've got the Till and Thomas Museum, and that's literally within 5 minutes walk. And, you know, you haven't got to cross roads or anything really, you just walk round, watch the boats, you know. So it's.
Have they announced a date for the?
I think the submissions have to be in by September, and December we'll find out. So
by December.
Yes, we've got like 4 years to put things together really. But by then, hopefully, we'll have the arena, the new arena that's being built. So, you know, we'll have loads to offer. Yes, Which, you know, so we've got it as well. But you were saying about rain. Actually, come and see us when it's sunny. We've got lots of things when it's sunny as well.
Yes, you do. But it was just literally a godsend that day.
But I say, look on our website with museum.wales, because you'll find loads and loads of activities, and there's absolutely no reason for anybody to be bored over the summer.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, everybody go down to the National Waterfront Museum.
Please.
Definitely.
You might be our 3 millionth visitor, you never know.
Oh,
we'll have cake.
Is there a prize or anything?
No, but you do get cake.
Well, I'm there if it's cake. Quickly, I'm going to go just do one on this day. In 1976, Benedict Cumberbatch, England actor, he was on 12 Years a Slave, Sherlock, Doctor Strange, and he was born in London, and he's 40 years old.
Is he?
Yes.
Gosh, he's wonderful in Sherlock, isn't he?
He's amazing, but I would have thought he was older than that. He just seems to have been around a long time, doesn't he?
He has, and we have a video to show of all the different things that he's managed to do.
Who the hell are you?
she's played an array of characters, mind.
And some characters with a bit of gravitas and maturity about them, which is probably why we think he's a bit older, is it?
Maybe, yeah. I just love him in Sherlock. I think he's amazing, isn't he? So, you know, that's my favourite.
He has that look, mind. He does look a bit older. I thought he was older, if I'm honest.
Because the cheekbones. He's just got that kind of...
Yeah, we say the cheekbones.
Yeah.
I think we're all fans by the sound of it. What do you think, Robert?
I don't think Conan Doyle would recognise him as Sherlock Holmes. But of course, he's very much the creation of the 21st century now, isn't he?
We probably shouldn't have asked you, Robert. Thank you all, thanks. Next we'll be having a look at the papers with Craig Lawton of Swansea Conservatives and Robert Llewellyn-Jones. Stay with us. Welcome back to Today on BayTV. I'm Gaynor Morgan. With me is Liz Cairns. We also have with us Craig Lawton from the Welsh Conservatives and, of course, the inimitable Robert Llewellyn-Jones.
Thank you, Gaynor.
Should we have a look at the papers?
That's a good idea, isn't
Yes.
it? What have we got for us, Liz?
Well, undoubtedly it's to do with the BBC and the wages and that.
Did you find Robert on the list?
Actually, no, I didn't.
I think some of them, Gaynor, I wouldn't pay in washers, to be honest with you. But there we are. That's just a personal opinion.
Well, nearly all the front pages are saying the same things. The Daily Telegraph, BBC's gender pay gap revealed. The Daily Mail, pay panic at the BBC.
Meltdown, I bet it's a meltdown.
Yes, meltdown as dossier names 100 staff on more than Prime Minister. Only a third are women. Bosses tried to have report delayed, and top names warned they face public backlash. And in the Eye, BBC faces sexist pay storm.
I'd like to have been a fly on the wall when John Humphreys' pay was announced. Although I think he's worth every penny, isn't he?
Well, he's a splot man in Cardiff. I mean,
yeah.
what more do you want?
I bet he wasn't too happy.
No, well, we have a video which we're going to watch first, and then we can discuss more then.
Agents are ringing the BBC. You told me that we were being paid, you know, as much as we should be paid. Agents will be looking at the relative rates that others are getting. The clients are going to be up in arms. The competition is going to be looking. The net result of this is inflation. There's only one way this can go, and that's that the talent salaries and wages will round upwards. They won't go down. I guarantee you that. If the government was concerned that the BBC wasn't getting value for money, they should have cut the licence fee and not intervened in people's privacy and their own private affairs about what they're paid. I think it's shocking. People do work at the BBC for a discount. I mean, I've been an agent. I've managed talent. I've bought talent. I've done. You know, I moved Morecambe and Wise from ITV to the BBC for a lot of money. If that had been made public at the time, you know, would it have happened? Would the BBC have signed Morecambe and Wise or the two Ronnies from ITV? This is a marketplace for talent. It's not about what executives are paid. And the government has crossed a line here, which I find deeply, deeply distasteful and disturbing.
I don't know. Is it in the public interest that we know all these salaries? You think so, do you?
Well, if you're employed by a public organisation, then your pay should be in the public domain since you are paying them.
Don't you think it incites all this sort of envy and even hatred among some people?
Oh, I don't think so, Gaynor. I don't think it does. But I think people say, if you're employed by a private company, well, you have every right to privacy. And I don't think what you are paid is the concern of anybody. But if you're in the public, you're paid publicly. I mean, councillors have to declare their allowances. We know exactly what the chief executive of West Glamorgan gets because he's paid from the public purse.
Well, at 11 o'clock, it was revealed. And it also was revealed that only a third of the women, sorry, my voice is going then, because I'm so distressed over it. No, I'm joking. Was revealed that they were earning over the 250,000, which meant obviously 2/3 of the men were. Now, what do you think with regards to the difference in sexes?
Well, I'm afraid I don't. I really don't go. I don't go for this sexism.
Should it be equal?
You're completely unreconstructed.
I know.
Do you want me to have a go instead?
Yeah.
I think if you look at the individuals, it comes down to how much work they do, as well as
How do you define work in this context?
However, I think there are going to be questions if you ask the fact that Chris Evans gets between 2.2 and 2.5 million.
But he is very, very clever. He's unique.
But then Claudia Winkleman gets less than £500,000. Obviously, still a huge amount, but. Are the BBC saying that she is worth less than 4 times as much as Chris Evans? I think there are questions for them to answer, and I think the fact that this information is available means people really can see where their money goes, and they can decide whether they get value for money as well.
Very good, yes.
I do wonder. I think it's quite dangerous to have all these huge salaries out there. As you say, over £2 million for Chris Evans. Personally, I think he's a one-off. He's very entertaining, and he enhances people's lives. Well, he's Marmite, isn't he? I love him.
Does he enhance you again? I'm sorry. Does he enhance your life?
Yes, I think he's
really?
very funny, and and just the sound of his voice is.
It'd be interesting to see whether he got a pay cut when Top Gear failed, though, as well, isn't it? That would be interesting to find out.
But, and I mean, John Humphreys, again, you know, you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and you'd be up to speed and able to forensically take apart some of our politicians in the way that he does. You know, perhaps he is worth the money, but I'm not sure. Well,
it's nice to see two Welshmen, Hugh Edwards and Humphreys.
Yes.
I've got no objection to the money that they earn. I don't know what our political pundit here thinks.
I think if you're going to compete with the private sector, you have to offer those kinds of wages potentially. The same with councils and the same with various areas. The question is, and this, I'm not giving an opinion particularly at this stage, should the BBC be competing with Sky Sports, for example, or should they be fulfilling a different purpose? We still, though, need top quality journalism and we still need top quality reporting, and that does cost a price. It's for the public to decide with this information whether the cost is what they're paying and whether that's acceptable, though.
I think another question which will need to be answered is also the pay gap between race, because they have said between white, black, Asian and minority ethnic backgrounds, there is a stark difference as well. So it's not just within the sex, it's within the minorities. And
the minorities are being paid?
Yes, less.
I think the highest was about 300,000
yes, it was.
For black ethnic minority presenters. And they've said that they're going to make changes. Well, they need to start making these changes. They knew that this information was going to be made public, and they've had the time to do this. And it's part of charter review. This charter lasts for 11 years. So the question will be, are we going to see a change? And I think, you know, if it's overdue, will there be change next year? We'll have to look.
I just think it's all very distasteful. If you're one of the just managing, and you know, we're all on budgets, and then you hear these eye-watering salaries bandied about, some of them for people who you can question, really, are they worth it? I just think it's very, very distasteful.
Well, we're all born equal, you see, Gaynor, only some more equal than others.
That's
and
why
this, of course, this is exemplified by this.
That's why you and I aren't on the list. What about you, Liz?
Oh, no.
I don't think they understand. Your subject is a little too esoteric for them.
What else have we got?
Moving on. Daily Express. How to slash diabetes risk. Experts say avoiding middle-age spread can beat the disease. What's concerning here is that what they're saying, in 2034, 1 in 3 will be obese, and also 1 in 10 will develop type 2 diabetes. Now, type 2 diabetes, it's not necessarily a need for it. You can prevent it.
Lifestyle.
Yes, it is. It's down to reducing your BMI is one of the main things. If obviously your BMI is over, then to reduce that down, healthy eating.
It's all easier said than done. Healthy eating is inexpensive, isn't it? It's more expensive than junk food. Junk food is, you know, it can be addictive. It's everywhere. More and more we have sedentary lives, and we're all forced into longer hours sitting by computers. It's not easy. What do you think, Craig?
No, I agree, and I've said this before actually, but if you walk into an unnamed supermarket, they're all very similar though, you see 4 chocolate bars for £1 or 4 apples for £1.50, it's a difficult decision to make, in fairness. I think though, as you say, with people living working longer hours and being more sedentary, got to take that time, and you know, I'm not a great example of this, but we've got to take the time to look after ourselves. That means maybe planning what we're going to eat, planning what you're going to shop for the week. That also means that you can keep those bills down as well, as opposed to buying things every time you need something. But also taking time to go out, take a bit of physical exercise, whether that's a walk, go for a run, anything like that. I'm not going to be going for a run, but you know, bike ride is always good as well. So there's various things that you can do, but it is difficult. And a couple of years ago, I had to lose like 2 stone because I just got really lazy, and it was just a case of eating lots and lots of fruit. That's what I did, but that's not my suggestion. Be much more rounded.
Yeah, they're slow cookers. Even if you have a busy life, you put all the veg in or whatever before you go to work. You come home, and that then is cutting down on costs as well because you have a large meal for a family meal that way. There are ways, and I think if your health is important for yourself, for your family. And I think that there needs to be things done.
I think we're all propelled into rushing around so much we haven't got time to think, let alone cater and cook. There we go. Plenty to chew the fat about. Anyway, we'll be talking politics again with Craig Lawton and Robert Llewellyn-Jones after the break.
So. See you then.
Welcome back to Today on BayTV. I'm Dana Morgan. With me is Liz Cairns, and we still have with us Welsh Conservative Craig Lawton and also Robert Llewellyn-Jones. But first, shall we have some more music from undoubtedly Lydia.
Watching through my fingers, watching through my fingers. Shut my eyes and count to 10. It goes in one ear out the other, oh, one ear out the other, oh. Burning brighter right till the end, but you'll be missing from the photographs, missing from the photographs. Watching through my fingers, watching through my fingers. Burning brighter right till the end. Oh, I can picture you so easily, picture you so easily. In my thoughts you're far away, and you are whistling a melody, whistling a melody. What's gonna be left of the world when you're not in it? And what's gonna be left of the world? Oh, every minute of every hour I miss you, I miss you, I miss you more. Every stumble and each misfire I miss you, I miss you, I miss you more. Watching through my fingers, I'm watching through my fingers. Caught off guard by your favorite song, and you are dancing at the funeral, dancing at a funeral. Sleeping in the clothes you love. It's such a shame we have to see them burn, shame we have to see them burn. What's gonna be left of the world when you're not in it? And what's gonna be left of the world? Oh, every minute of every hour I miss you, I miss you, I miss you more. Every stumble and each misfire I miss you, I miss you, I miss you more. Watching through my fingers, I'm watching through my fingers. You might have to excuse me, I've lost control of all my senses. And you might have to excuse me, I've lost control of all my words. So get drunk, call me a fool, put me in my place, put me in my place. To get up off the floor, put me in my place, put me in my place. Cause every minute of every hour I miss you, I miss you, I miss you more. Every stumble and each misfire I miss you, I miss you, I miss you more. I'm watching through my fingers, I'm watching through my fingers. Cause every minute of every hour I miss you, I miss you, I miss you more.
That was a lovely version.
Oh, yes, so different. Yeah, really great.
Well, Craig, there is so much to talk about, and I know one of the things that we've discussed prior to the election, during the election, after the election, was obviously the lagoon, rail electrification. What's your views now on these things at the moment?
Well, my view on the lagoon hasn't changed. Yeah. I still want to see the lagoon happen. Yes. In fairness, the majority of members of Parliament and the majority of, I think all actually, Assembly members from all parties represented in the Senedd want to see it happen. I know a cross-party group of Assembly members is actually going to discuss this with the UK government in more detail as well. And they're still looking at those plans. I think it still comes back to the fact that we need green energy, but we need cheap energy as well. It's questions over whether we should be giving people clean energy that costs them more than they're paying at the moment, or the same even that they're paying for at the moment, when potentially we could see those bills coming down in the future.
What about electrification? We've got some imminent news on that, have we, I think?
Well, there's been some suggestions in terms of what Alan Cairns, Secretary of State, has said. I saw earlier today, and Alan has been talking about the fact that when the decision was made about electrification, we had the technology of either having diesel trains or having electric trains. That technology has now moved on. We've now got trains that can actually switch between those two modes. And as Alan Cairns was saying, passengers won't know whether they're using diesel trains or electric trains. It will switch at different times.
As long as someone knows, we're all right.
And in fact, it will be cleaner, and it will also result in a faster service. So people will be able to get from Swansea and from Cardiff to London even quicker, but importantly, back again as well, because we want them to come back at the same time. And actually, those trains are going to be in service sooner than was initially expected. So actually, people are going to be getting a faster service sooner than expected.
And are we going to feel the benefit here in Swansea? Do you know, Robert?
Well, I was just about to say, I'm hoping Alan Keynes is not driving that train. But anyway,
I think he has other things to do.
I couldn't see him with a flat cap, you know, the train drivers used to wear. There's a very interesting story just broken on the BBC now, the Swansea Tidal Lagoon in danger of not happening.
Well, in fairness, though, this is a story from the new MP for Gower, who, unless I'm mistaken,
was here with us before Christmas.
But in fairness to her, she's not in the government, so I don't know how she knows that's going to happen. She's probably playing a few games with it. As I said, a decision hasn't been made yet. They're still coming up with. A decision, looking at all that information. It needs to be green, but it also needs to be the right price as well. If Tonya knows something else, I think she should be telling us.
So what have you been doing since the election? Because obviously up until then you were so busy. What have you been doing since?
Immediately afterwards, once I'd done your show the next day, I had a bit of a sleep. Going back to work, getting on with my sort of normal day job again.
You fought a great fight for Swansea West. Did you ever think it was achievable that you would win?
Yeah, you don't go into an election campaign not thinking you have a chance of winning. I think if any candidate were to put themselves up to the electorate not expecting to win, well, let someone else have a go.
Clearly, lots of people do.
Let someone else have a go, because there are plenty of people that do think they can win. I thought we had a chance. It didn't happen, obviously.
How did you feel the morning after? I know it's a naughty question, but how did you feel? It must be a really flat sort of experience.
No, I was really pleased with my personal result. It's the best result in terms of actual votes we've received in Swansea West for the Conservatives since 1992, and it's the best result in terms of actual percentage of the vote since 1987, and that was Nigel Evans, who's now the MP for the Ribble Valley, and that was Julian Lewis, who's chair of the Defence Select Committee. I was really pleased with the result. No, not at all. No.
Put you off. What about Mrs May? What are her chances? You're a betting man?
I don't bet too much. I wish actually I had gone and got a betting slip when it said I was 2-1 to win in Swansea West, because that would have been a really nice memento. Theresa May is getting on with doing the job of being the Prime Minister. She was in Prime Minister's Questions earlier today, answering questions on various things. We've got to remember that running the country involves lots and lots of different things. She's getting on with doing that. There's some people that are questioning other things, but she's getting on with the job in hand, which is making sure that we have an economy that works for everybody and making sure that the country's run correctly.
What about Brexit and the concerns with regards to all the devolved, especially us being Wales, and how that's going to affect us financially? And
this report, of course, from the Lords EU Committee.
Well, I think when it comes to Brexit and listening to devolved nations, there has actually been the Joint Ministerial Council in place for some time. I know it doesn't sound very interesting or exciting with a name like that, but essentially what that means is that the relevant minister at each individual point will go and meet with the Secretary of State. So if it's talking about rural issues, it will be the Welsh Government's Environment Secretary will go and meet with the Environment Secretary in London, Scotland, and those have been going on for some time. And as far as I know, those will continue to happen.
But basically, the Lords EU Committee is saying that the Barnett formula is no longer fit for purpose and that we must have a device that really reflects the needs of Wales. Principally, of course, I would say this, wouldn't I? Agriculture, infrastructure, that sort of thing. Well,
I think the Barnett formula was only temporary when it came in. If someone's got a better example, I think that would be interesting to look at. But you've got to remember that the money that Wales gets doesn't just come through the Barnett formula. The money that Wales has actually got for the Swansea Bay City deal, that is not Barnettised, if you want to look at it that way. So that's additional money. So there's always extra money coming to Wales, not necessarily via that Barnett formula. Again, the electrification to Cardiff and those trains, which having both diesel and electric engines, which are going to be coming through to Swansea, that's outside of the Barnett formula as well. So it's unfair to say that Wales only gets money.
But your take on powers being devolved to go through to the Assembly? Devolved powers being
brought straight.
But I think we are at the end of the line when it comes to what's going to be handed out. The high-speed rail link is going to the north of England. It's not coming down here in the foreseeable future. Where's the city deal now with Swansea? I don't know. I can't see it happening personally, and now
I disagree with you. I think the city deal is going to happen.
Just in a few seconds.
The councils are 100% behind it, and so is the Welsh Government and the UK Government, so that will go
So
ahead.
you're confident, Craig?
The city deal, yes, I'm behind it, and I think it will
And you're
happen.
confident for Wales as a whole?
Yes, definitely.
Well,
Brilliant.
there we are.
Thank you.
What could we want? Thank you all. We're going to turn to show business next, and Liz, you're going to be joined by Keith Milward, and I think we're talking to Jill Williams and a special dog.
Yes. So I'll see you after the break. and welcome back to the final part of Today on BayTV. I'm Liz Kent and this is Keith Milward, our showbiz editor. So who do we have with us today, Keith?
Well, we've got the lovely Jill Williams and the lovely Emily Williams as well. And you've got a special friend with you.
Yeah, we have our Toto from our show, The Wizard of Oz. So he's come to join us on the sofa today as well.
So what part does he play in it?
Well, he's Dorothy's dog, and this is Emily, and she's playing Dorothy in our production. So
how's it all going? How's it all going? Because you've moved into the Taliesin Theatre.
Yes, we have. We've been there since Sunday, so we've been doing tech and dress runs and things. So yeah, it's taking shape, you know. It's a pretty ambitious production.
It is. It really is. It's very abstract. It's very different. So I don't think it'll be similar to a lot of the other Wizard of Oz productions that anyone else has done.
So in what way is it abstract?
Well, this is Toto. He's operated by a puppeteer called Susie, and
let's have a look, shall we?
Oh yes.
Toto follows me around basically throughout the whole thing, and Susie can make him run.
Oh, gosh.
He can make him sit.
And his tail.
Yeah, he can wag his tail too.
Looks as if he's looking at me.
Oh, yeah, okay. I think he wants some food. He wants some food.
He can bark, because Susie does Susie operates the voice. It's kind of like the idea of Warhorse, where they're fully visible on stage, the puppeteers. So, so we have... you know, over 100 students involved in the production, and each one of them gets an opportunity to puppeteer a different puppet. So, albeit it might be a butterfly, a bat, an owl, or a piece of the house that comes away in the tornado scene, or the whole entire Yelbrick Road is a 13-piece gigantic jigsaw puzzle that fits together in different ways each time that she goes on the Yelbrick Road.
That is really so different, because, you know, we're used to possibly an animal as a puppet, but not the Yelbrick Road, isn't it?
That's right.
Even the house, I hear.
Yeah, well, as I say, the house, it kind of moves around, and that's the farmhouse. And then during the tornado, then the door comes away, the window flies out, but it's all operated by people, so the audience see the puppeteers. It's all done in full view, and so even in like in the poppy scene with the snow around there, we've got the butterflies, so the cast come on with butterflies, and you're doing that scene, and there are birds and all different kinds of things, aren't there?
So how difficult is it from your mind, because obviously you are visualising all this, and then have to portray it to everybody, you put it down on paper obviously, but yet you still have to get that finished.
Yeah, I mean, it's been challenging, you know, at times, which has been great, because I always love a challenge. The explaining it to the students has been great, and because the idea, as I said, is that Dorothy is a lonely child in Kansas, so I imagined her playing with jigsaws in the house, so hence I wanted to assimilate the jigsaw idea with her going into Kansas and the Yelbrick Road becoming that jigsaw then in her mind, because the whole sequence is a dream sequence as far as Dorothy is concerned, so I could kind of like let my imagination run, which has been great for me, you know, to push that way. So to making other people, I mean, we've had the set designed and made, so that's been great. So, you know, I could see my ideas coming into fruition with that, and it's lovely then when you explain it to the students, because they all go, "Oh yeah, you understand that now," or you know, we kind of get it. As I said earlier on, I mean, I see it in my head. It's just kind of getting across, but I think it's just been hugely challenging, but really rewarding, I think.
But it's a very different production for class act theatre school, isn't it? But what's it like, Emily, to work with puppets as well as humans?
It's so brilliant, and Toto especially. I've made an emotional connection to him. And I'm sure that when the show ends, I'm going to be very lost without him. So it's going to be amazing. But when Jill was explaining it all to us, it all just fitted together like a jigsaw, quite literally. So it's just brilliant, and it's so modern, and it all intertwines together, and it's just so brilliant.
Because we all know the Wizard of Oz so well, but this is a new take on it.
It is.
But what's it like to fill the shoes of so many others who have portrayed Dorothy? You know, what's it like when you're actually singing the songs, obviously Summer Over the Rainbow, and acting the part?
genuinely feels like I am Judy Garland. I feel it's always been one of my dream roles, and with such an amazing cast, it's so amazing just to be in it and be the role that I've always aspired to be. Yeah, it's amazing. And even just like picking up little things that Judy Garland does, like watching the movie over and over, I kind of developed my own Dorothy, my own like unique Dorothy. So I love it. Yeah.
Also, you had some teaching from someone from Strictly Come Dancing, and that was the reason why you ended up with a Charleston type dance.
So Robin Windsor came down and we did a workshop with him, and that was great. And he just kind of put together this Charleston number that's quite a few of us learned. So I just thought, oh, actually, that would work really well in the jitterbug, so it saved me a little bit of work because I kind of choreograph it as well. So yes, we've lifted that section, and that's in the jitterbug now. So that was lovely that we could use that. So that was interesting, wasn't it?
And how did you feel then being taught by him?
Oh, it was brilliant. I was starstruck. It was amazing. But
I went selfies with him.
Oh, I'm sure you did. So remind us when the show is actually on.
Okay, so we're on at the Taliesin Theatre this week in Swansea. We open tonight and we do 7 performances. So we finish on Saturday in the evening. So so we run out all week really until Saturday.
Oh my gosh! And so please say some of the main cast members as well.
Yeah, so we've obviously got Emily, and we've got 2 other Dorothys. So we have Dominique, and then we have in the junior production Beth, and then we've got amazing scarecrows of me, Cameron and Ben and Charlie and Morgan are the Tin Men, and then we've got Sinead and Fergus who are the Lion, and a lot of brilliant girls who are the Witch, Georgia and Fiona and Eve, and so it's, in all fairness, they're a great company to work with, aren't we? Everybody, we respect one another, and that's the whole kind of family team effort of the theatre school. I think that we've tried to develop over the years.
And of course, you've got the Strictly Come Dancing helper as well. But who else is collaborating with you to put the show?
Okay, so we've had Ace Costumes are amazing. The costumes are stunning.
You've got a photograph, I believe.
Oh, yeah, they've really excelled, and I've been so grateful. And then we've had Jess, who's worked on us with the puppets, but also we've had company members' dads and things who've come forward and said, look, I'd like to make, because we've got geese who are similar to the Warhorse geese at the beginning. So Anthony made those, and other parents. We've had a couple of, like, Caitlin's granddads made some of the puppets as well.
The witch that goes through the tornado.
Yeah, so we've got like a mini witch on a bike. So
that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, so I thought it really is a huge team effort, and although I'm kind of at the helm of it, I couldn't do it without everybody, and I'm just really grateful for that support. It's quite moving, actually. It's quite
I can imagine what you're going to feel like tonight.
Yeah.
You've been running Class Act Theatre School for several
18 years now.
18 years.
Yeah.
So what stands out over those years, the many productions you've done?
Yeah, I think this will stand out, but the Cats are amazing. I think I've said before to you how much I loved doing that production. The musical Cats, which was just amazing. And Whistle Down the Wind, and we did Grease last year. We just did Les Mis for the 3rd time. So just for many different reasons, each production stands out in a positive way in my mind. So I'm just very, very blessed that I do the job I do.
Extremely high standard productions, each and every one of them.
We strive to do our best.
Yes. So any thoughts for the future productions? Anything else?
No, nothing. Just concentrate on this one, and focusing on my students and just giving them the best.
I was surprised with how little time really you've had to rehearse. It just shows the talent within the school that they can produce such a great theatre production within such a limited time, really.
Yeah, because I only see the students an hour and a half a week.
Yeah.
So it is pretty, apart from when we have like we might have a day here and there on the weekends, but it's mainly just an hour and a half. So the majority of the students are really committed.
And Les Miserables was in March, so you've only had since March.
Yeah, that's right.
To do this,
But no, it's amazing, and the Taliesin staff are great, and as I say, I couldn't do it without all the team I have. So it's been fantastic.
So just remind us now in the last minutes we've got where it is, how people can get tickets. And,
so it's at the Taliesin Theatre, and you phone 07565 544 533, which is the ticket line, because we don't use the box office at the Taliesin. We sell our own tickets. So so please, we're sold out for tonight, and we're sold out for Friday, more or less, I think, but we do have tickets for Thursday and for both shows on Saturday as well. So please come. I really hope I'm sure it'll be great. Thank you.
Yes. Well,
all the best for tonight.
Thank you.
All the best. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Oh, yes. So,
and don't forget, following the show, we have our afternoon matinee film today. It's the 1952 comedy Treasure Hunt.